Good morning, and welcome to another edition of D is Not a Dirty Word, my journey through depression. I'm Monica Beasley Martin, and today I just want to talk to you a few minutes about how you should not allow yourself to be bullied or intimidated about your past. Do not allow yourself to be bullied or intimidated about your past. Um, This is dealing with a subject. Years ago, some people may know, I dealt with being bullied and sexually harassed while I was in high school. The authorities knew about what was going on, and pretty much they turned a blind eye to it because of the fact that the person who was a perpetrator against me happened to be a star athlete, a star football player. So, anywho, we're going to fast forward to what's going on now. My local university apparently sought out a young man who had been convicted of rape at a particular high school a few years ago. Now, the young man, yes, has since served his time and what have you, and he was apparently just quietly going along to school. And at one point, the one story that had come out was that the young man had sought out the university to play football. Later on, it came out that, in fact, the coach himself went and recruited the young man for the football team. Now, I simply stated that it was my opinion that it was fine for him to attend school. I had no problem with that. But I do feel that playing football is not a right, it is a privilege. And therefore, perhaps playing football was not something that he should be doing. Now, that was my opinion. Nothing about not giving this young man a second chance. Nothing about anything that I had experienced. I did compare it to my situation from the standpoint of the fact that my school seemed to not be concerned about the fact that I was going through all of this as a result of this young man. Football seemed to be more important. And my question simply was, I wondered if football was more important for the school as well. So, I got several responses. And so the one person said, well, the girl might have forgiven him and so on and so forth, which is true, but this has nothing to do with forgiveness. I mean, when you do things, there are consequences for your actions, and sometimes those consequences follow you, sometimes all the way through your life. So this had nothing to do with whether the girl forgave him or not, and what have you, and that this person, several people mentioned that this person wasn't the person that did whatever to me in high school. And I started reflecting on that, and I don't recall once equating this young man to the young man that bothered me in high school. This was not the case at all. My concern was simply that I didn't think that you should be put in a position of privilege after committing that type of offense. In fact, and then I said on my post, I said, well, you know what? I really don't want to discuss this any further. And I thought that that would be the end of it, and it wasn't. You know, person comes back and they start telling me, more things about, well, you know that you're not, this person wasn't the person that molested you, and you shouldn't be taking it out on them. And my son, well, he played little league all the way up through, I don't know, high school, college or something, and not all football players do this, that, and the other. And never once did I say all football players. I simply said that people should have consequences for their action. And I did not feel that someone who had raped somebody when they were on a football team in high school needed to be rewarded with a position in college. That's my opinion. And that's how I felt about that. Had nothing to do with what happened to me. You know, I'm not holding anything against this young man. Hope he goes far. And my concern would, of course, be for the young woman. I hope that she has, in fact, made something out of her life. Because things like that are things that do impact you years later. And yes, I am going through counseling for what I have experienced in my past. But I refuse to be bullied and intimidated by anyone, including people that I happen to know. So since this one sister just consistently wanted to tell me about I needed to be healed and this and that and the other, and it had nothing to do with that, I finally had to say, well, you know what? That's it. I've asked you that I don't want to discuss this anymore. I'm over it. And I ended up having to block and delete her. And this is somebody I'm going to run in contact with. And when I do, I'm going to just have to share with them the fact that I just don't think it's healthy for me to continue to be Facebook friends with this person. And so I'm saying to you, there are going to be some folks, maybe, they might even be people that you're related to. And being in communication with them can be toxic for you. And I want to encourage you to not feel like you have to continue in a conversation with them, continue in a relationship with them. In order for you to be healed, you have to do those things that are beneficial and helpful for you. And I have no hard feelings or anything like that against this woman, but she was going to continue to have the last word when I asked her to please, let's just leave it alone. Sometimes, sometimes you're going to have to agree to disagree. She's entitled to her opinion, and I'm entitled to mine. But please, keep your opinion on your page and let me express myself on mine. And it was a very difficult situation for me to delete this person, but I had to do it because guess what? Number one, I got to look out for me. And yes, she said be healed. Yes, I'm going to be healed. In fact, I'm walking towards healing. And part of that is going to involve me deleting my connection to you. So I just want to say to you all, just take care of yourself. Toxic relationships, let them go. Don't feel like you have to take low. Don't feel like you have to allow someone to continue to bully you. Let it go. Let them go. And live, love, be happy, do what you need to do for that. And if it means letting them go, let them go. This is Reverend Monica Beasley Martin, and I'm praying for you. Hope you pray for me. Until we meet again, have a blessed day. Peace out.